Hello and welcome to Tales of an Insurance Agent. This is Sylvester Lane. I'm over here with Cody Askins.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Cody. So, how's your week going? I mean, it's only Tuesday, but...
You know what? I had one of the best Mondays I've ever had yesterday. We had a lot of insurance agents make several sales. I'm even giving out free leads to a lot of my insurance agents now, and a couple of them made sales from those. Some of them in person, some of them over the phone. Some of them I even helped them sell, and then they're going to just pick up the applications. I help them close them over the phone.
Wow. For people that don't know what you do, can you tell them a little bit about your program, what it's called, essentially what you help agents do?
It's Secure Agent Mentor, and my focus, our focus at Secure Agent Mentor, we've got several support and several team members to help support agents. But we mentor, train, and support. And so with mentoring, I've been in the business about 6 years now. I've always made $100,000 or more. And I know what it takes as a young, new insurance agent. I've always known what it took to help agents reach their goals, reach their true potential, instead of just the status quo. We also do a lot of training. We have a couple of early on training webinars that we do with agents. We have weekly coaching calls. We have accountability reports where they're tracking their progress, their success on a weekly basis. And then we also support and communicate with them quite often. We're texting multiple times a week. We're talking on the phone multiple times a week. We're doing a couple of live video streams with them. We're doing a couple of training podcasts for them like this, even some personal training videos just for them. I mean, it's all about helping agents succeed and whatever it takes to help agents succeed. And I know we're growing very rapidly because we're doing things right and we're adding an extreme personal touch or personal feel. No one trains and communicates with agents. No one in the nation trains and communicates with agents like we do.
Right, and on that, I think that one of the things I like about the program that you offer so much is that you're not just making agents that are good at selling insurance. You're making good salespeople.
Absolutely. I mean, we even have something I didn't mention. We have a sales training university that's an $18,000 program that we give our agents access to for free. We don't charge them a penny, for free. And so there's a lot of pieces that we give to them.
Right, which is totally amazing. This podcast is a little different than a lot of the ones we do. A lot of the ones we do are just focused on training and support and a lot of practical things to help you improve right away. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to kind of shape this one more towards telling you a story about being in the field. I mean, if you've been in the insurance business for any amount of time, you have crazy things that happen to you, and a lot of them people don't even think are real. Like our last story, last week's was Lady of the Night. If you haven't heard that one, go back and listen to it. It was a great story, super funny. Another crazy thing that happened to Cody.
Yeah, it's one of the funnier and more. It's always the craziest story. You know what? Now that you say craziest, I actually have another one that comes to mind. I'm going to put it in my notes while we're talking so that we can do it next week, because that one's going to be, well, what's funny is most of these stories, as crazy as they are, there always seems to be a positive ending to all of them, which we like positive endings. We like making sales. Right.
Pretty much if you stick it out with a smile on your face and you stay safe, you'll probably get something good out of it. And sometimes when you don't make a sale, that is still a good thing because business needs to stay on the books for us to live.
Yeah.
And succeed. There's nothing worse than you thinking that you have a $2,000 check coming to you, and then the Wednesday before you get it, you get a charge back. And
sure.
I always find it funny that for some reason, they take your money out of your account a lot faster than they put it in.
Well, especially when you're captive.
Right. So today's story is a little bit more unique just because of how the situation was. And it's really funny because of how Cody handled this situation. So, Cody, if you want to give us a little bit of background leading up to the story, and then we'll dive in.
This story I was door knocking with a new agent. It's been about 2.5 years ago, almost 2.5 years ago. We were door knocking some new and aged life leads and final expense leads, and we were about 45 minutes to an hour from the office, out in an extreme rural area, out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, if I told you the name of the city, people that even live in Springfield, half of them don't even know this city exists. That's
Wow.
how small and rural it really is. It's out in the middle of absolute nowhere. It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of rural and out there. It really is. Curvy roads, back roads, gravel roads. I mean, it's out there.
Wow. So definitely not driving the new Z06
No.
down those roads. For those that don't know, it seems a little weird, just personally, that like 5 years in the business, you're still door knocking. Did an appointment cancel on you or something like that?
No, actually, I had a new agent that wanted to experience what I do. We didn't have anything else to do. He didn't have any appointments, and as I do with some of my new agents, I said, you know what? Let's grab some leads. Let's get out in the field. Let's make something happen, and let's door knock. I mean, I've never been out in the field and door knocked where I didn't write a piece of business. It just doesn't happen, especially if I door knock for any amount of time. And so we grabbed a bunch of leads. We may have used. It's possible that we used Life Leads Direct. I know we used them quite a bit back then. We were grabbing some aged leads, and we have discounts with them if anybody's interested. But we grabbed a bunch of aged leads. We went out and in the field we started knocking. We've been knocking for a few hours, and the next one was just really far out. It was really, and we come up to the door or to the driveway, and there are just cats and dogs everywhere. And this is out in the middle of nowhere.
Man, that's definitely sets it up a little weird. Now, what was going on, I guess, in your life at this time? Can you explain kind of the situations you guys were in? Because the agent you were with necessarily wasn't new, per se. He was in the business for a couple years already.
Yeah, he wasn't. He hadn't been in the business as long as I had. He wasn't succeeding at the level he wanted, and wasn't having as much success as I thought he could. And so what he wanted to do was, obviously he wanted a mentor, and he wanted to switch over into having some success, incorporating some new ways of making some money. And I mean, that year that he worked with me, he had never made more than $30,000 in the insurance business ever. Never made more than $30,000. And that year, I think he made, working with me, I think he made like $65,000.
Which, I mean, doubling your income.
Right.
And you can imagine.
For my agents, is sometimes that's still a little low, you know, if it's okay to say. But our average, you know, for our agents that are full time with us, they're like, you know, 60, 70, 80K earners. And he was tickled pink. I mean, this dude was jacked. He was excited.
Right, and you actually just started the mentorship program around that time.
I did. A couple years back. We were just opening up. You know, he was one of my first agents. I mean, it was just, I didn't even realize that it was growing into a secure agent mentor, even when it was. You know,
right.
I mean, it was just, I was getting agents asking me for help on a regular basis, and I thought we need to give them some help and give them. I saw a need, as we all do.
That's awesome. So there's tons of cats and dogs. You know, probably
it's on a gravel road, 3 or 4 miles off of an really old, out in the middle of a nowhere highway. We get to the driveway. It kind of goes around a little bend. Then there's a little small circle drive with gravel right in front of the house. And the agent was driving. He didn't even know which way to pull in circle drive or how to pull, you know, and he's like, you know, nervous, you know, figuring he don't want to like screw it up by parking wrong, you know. I mean, how we all think of it, almost too psychological. I mean, dude, just pull around the circle drive and just stop right in front of the house. You know, we'll get out, we'll door knock. If they're home, we'll sell some insurance. And so there's cats and dogs everywhere, and they are going nuts. They are barking. As soon as we open the door, this like 75, 80-year-old lady comes out onto the front porch screaming and yelling, like trying to get us to stop the car, like wondering what in the world is going on. And so what was weird about that is what we didn't realize is while she's screaming and yelling like, hey, stop, what are you doing in my yard, all these things, we learned that she had just been broken into and robbed like a week before.
Which, if you guys know anything about Missouri, is a horrible, horrible, horrible idea to try to rob somebody, especially in the country.
Oh,
because I promise you,
I'm surprised she didn't come out with a shotgun.
Right,
like,
everybody,
legitly.
Everybody in Missouri has at least a shotgun.
Which knowing her and knowing where she lived and knowing the rural part of Missouri, there was I'm sure there was a gun close that she knew where it was. I'm sure of that. I'm positive of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a grenade close that she knew where it was.
Yeah, exactly. And so we get out. The agent's like freaking out, almost like ready to apologize, and like and so I kind of have to take over and kind of diffuse the situation, and I'm saying, hey ma'am, sorry if we have, is it okay to park here? We saw that you requested life insurance a while back, and we just want to take a second to visit with you. Just trying to diffuse the situation, trying to let her know that we are human beings. We are dressed in slacks and a polo. We are not there to rob her. I'm a respectful young guy. I want to come across as that type of individual. And so by doing that, and by using some of the tactics that I use to diffuse a situation or to come across as like the nicest kid in the world, we were able to kind of communicate with her, kind of shoot the bull, so to speak, on her front porch. And as I always do, you agree. And anytime I have an objection, I always agree with them. I answer the objection, then I ask again. So then I get into asking to come in the home.
Right, and I think that when you say agree, I know sometimes we'll be talking to agents that we're trying to train.
Right.
And they'll be like, so you just agree with them and then go on? And that's not what we're saying. Because if you do that, and you're like, oh, yeah, the price is high, but the moment you say but, it eliminates anything you said before that sentence. So I can be like, Cody, you're a nice guy, but your breath smells. Does Cody remember?
They call but the eraser word.
Right.
Exactly, they do.
So when we're saying you agree with them, sometimes a better word might be you acknowledge their concern. Mm-hmm. So when we say agree, we don't mean that you nonchalantly overlook it and then try to push your way through. No, but you observe their concern.
I agree. I understand. You're right. I'm with you.
Right, and then you calm their concern. You say, "Oh, I understand you just got robbed. I would be super nervous if any car pulled in my driveway I didn't know."
Exactly.
I can assure you, though, that we're not here to rob you. We just want to help you out and take care of your life insurance if you don't have it taken care of. And if we can't put you in a better situation, don't worry. We'll throw the lead away. We're going to erase your address from our memory. You'll never see us back here again. Mm-hmm. Which, in that case, obviously you're probably not going to come back and try to check on her because the next time, because you're in middle of nowhere, Missouri, right, she probably will have the shotgun ready for you.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point that out because sometimes we say agree and people are like, oh, okay. That means I can say, yeah, but, and always try to eliminate the word but from your vocabulary.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're in either a confrontation spot or when you're discussing something where you might have two different views on it. Sorry for going off the story, but can you bounce back into it? So you're on the porch talking.
Exactly. We diffuse the situation. We agree. We sympathize with her. We understand her concern, and then we ask, hey, is it okay? Can we step in for a couple seconds and just visit with you? Is that all right? We don't have to go far. We can just step just inside the door and just visit if that's all right with you.
And how'd she respond?
By this time, she could tell that she could trust us. And it took a few minutes. It may have took 5 or 6 minutes, but she said okay. She let us in, and we got in. She wanted to sit on the couch. Knowing me, if I'm going to lose a deal, I'm going to lose it on my terms. That's just my thought process behind what happens. I heard that from a guy a long time ago. And so I said, if it's okay, ma'am, I'd really like to sit at the table just so we can carry on a conversation and get to know you a little better. And she said, that's fine. That'd be okay. It's just it's a little more business. It's a little more setting for a sale. I just like sitting at the table better. So we get to the table and we are just warming her up. As we always warm up and fact find and build value and present and close and wrap up and cool down, all those things, we get into just warming up, just learning more about her. It's explaining why we're there, asking her how long she's lived there, what brought her to Niangua, or Springfield, or wherever the city is. If she has kids, if she has grandkids, seeing pictures on the walls, just finding ways to find common ground or warm her up, make her feel at ease.
Right. Now, when you're asking those questions, what's the real underlying thing? I know we do it to care for people, but
it's to build trust. It's to drop walls. It's to use those little bits of information that we know to help us make a sell later.
Right. To identify that need.
Exactly.
Excellent. So as you're asking this, her walls are coming down.
Right.
What'd you find out about her? Give us some.
What I found out about her is that she was a very scared old lady. But we really started to bond. I mean, we really started to get along really well. I think she really started to trust me. She knew the Christian college that I had went to in the past, so I think that helped. We learned that she had 5 different life insurance policies with several different companies, believe it or not. That's when we get into fact finding, and she was paying by the time you had policy fees from all these companies and the complexity of having 5 different bank drafts and 5 different policies, and imagine a beneficiary calling 5 different companies and the ordeal that goes with that. And that's part of the way I present and build value, is having a local agent and simplifying their life. And so we get into, finding out that she's got 5 different policies and that she doesn't want us to, she wasn't super open into sharing those policies early on. It took some time to get her to share those policies, to get her to find those policies. In fact, probably the biggest tip in this story is that was she did not want to go actually get that policy. She just wanted to tell us about them.
So she told you about the policies.
Mm-hmm.
You set it up. Obviously, you pitched it. Hey, we can eliminate some of those fees that are happening, get you one policy, make it easy on your life.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't even get into specifics like that. I mean, a little bit, but I'm more of like trying to speak in generalities, so I don't scare them into jumping into selling them early on. I'm asking them about her policies, asking details, asking if she knows where they are, which most people with that question generally say, I don't know. Well, a question I always follow up with, it generally gets me the answer that I want, because I always think that you can ask as many questions as you want, the same question over and over, as long as you ask in a different way. And so I then proceed to ask, well, if you did know where they were, where would they be? Which is a weird question. It's kind of a psychological question. It don't even make sense if you think about it. But she's like, well, if they were going to be in this place, they'd probably be in this filing cabinet over here. And I'm like, well, let's take a couple seconds, just because of the importance of seeing them, so that we can show you things in your policy. Let's take a second and look and just see if they're there, if that's okay.
Okay.
And so, she did. She looked.
As we're doing this, let's roll to the pitch, because that's the part that everybody really wants to know.
Absolutely. She finds her policies. We get into building plans, stacking up what she has versus what we have to offer. And it wasn't an easy sell. I mean, I've actually even got a couple other stories going through my head as I'm writing other stories that I'm thinking about it, because of different clients that have been in different similar situations. But we get into we're proposing, about $150 a month total of premium, which some people think are big, but we've got a story next week that we proposed over $300 a month of file expense stuff. So I mean, it's not super rare to write some bigger stuff. We get into proposing where we're saving her money. She's paying almost $200 a month for all these policies. We can get her for about $150, get her more coverage, get her a local agent. Right. She bought all these through the mail or over the phone, or an agent 3 or 4 years ago, that never called, never serviced, never communicated. And so I get into building value. And like I always do, I give 5 different value propositions or value adds, which is exactly how I present on a normal basis. So the first value add, and I'm writing these down as we're talking, is a whole life to age 100. And I'm going over how important that is, of having a whole life policy that'll never change, that the policy will always be there, that's there forever. The number 2, that she gets a price lock, that her price is locked, that the price will never change, that the price will never increase. And number 3, that this policy pays double for an accident. Then in the event of an accident, or in the event of a car accident, or in the event of falling off a ladder, or the accidents that happen from a day-to-day basis, that in the event of those things happening, this policy would pay double if that were to happen. And then we go to number 4, where it builds cash value. There's a savings account within the policy that's building and accruing money with interest that she could borrow against one day if she needed to. Then we get into the 5th value prop, which is having a local agent and the importance of having a local agent. Which with local agent you get into, hey, not only if you need to change beneficiary, if you need to change bank account information, if you need to change address, if you need to change phone number, if your family needs to tweak something, or if your family wants to meet us, you have a local agent to help you with any of those service needs instead of having to call a 1-800 number.
Right.
But even more important than local service and having a local agent is in the event of her death, and when that time comes, there is going to be an agent that her family can call on, that can come out, that can help with the claim, with the death certificate, with filling out the claim forms, with having a check delivered to them within a matter of days, instead of them having to call a 1-800 number. And I stress how long the claim process takes without an agent being involved, and how they're going to have to mail forms back and forth to the insurance company, and how it's going to be a 30, 60, 90-day process.
Right.
And how with an agent, it's only going to simplify this. And having one policy is so important, because it's going to simplify their life. It's going to simplify her life. They're just going to have to call one agent. Right. And he's going to take care of that while they grieve or while they celebrate her life.
Right. So after all of that, what was the response?
At that, she was very hesitant. She was very... The whole time she had her guard up, but at that point, she saw the importance of trying, and I got into let's just try to see if we can get you approved. I think that's the most important step here, because I think you can agree, Mary or whatever we'll call her, whatever, that at this point, it's a benefit to you to do this. And it makes a lot of sense. You can see all the reasons to do so. But we don't want to jump the gun, because I don't know that I can even offer it to you yet. That's kind of like the takeaway close in a way. Mm-hmm. If we can get this for you, which I hope we can, we need to try.
Right. We dangle the fruit out, and then they're like, wait. I'm healthy enough to get whatever I want to get.
Exactly. And in this case, she was. And she used that exact thing. She's like, you know what? No, I'm healthy. I can get it. Okay. Well, let's find out. I hope you can, because it would be of great benefit to you and your family if you could. So we get into doing the phone interview in the home with the application. She gets approved. She takes the policy, and what made me think of this story, this lady actually passed away earlier this year, a few months ago, and she had a policy for over 2 years, and you know what? It actually ended up that she passed away from an accident. So that benefit turned out to be double.
Wow.
And we worked with her son, and we got him a check within a few weeks, and he was very pleased. He was very happy.
Right, and money doesn't ever take away the grief of a loss or anything like that, but it definitely does ease some of the burdens on that.
It certainly does. And you know what? She was a client that I spoke with every few months, someone we stayed in communication with, someone that she gave us referrals, someone we liked a lot, someone that we felt great about, someone that the agent even got some referrals from. It was just such a good learning experience for that agent, because of how tough of a call it was.
Right.
It wasn't easy. It was difficult. But anything that's difficult is worth it in the end.
Well, thank you for your time. Went a little longer than we normally do, but
Absolutely.
the story's so good that sometimes we just need to make sure that we get it all in. And hopefully you guys found some tidbits in there that'll benefit you, that'll teach you how to handle certain situations. Hopefully you thought the story was a little funny. Just follow us, subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. Please subscribe below. Please subscribe below. Please reach out to us. Call us here at the office, 417-883-9300. Ask for Cody or Sylvester. We are more than happy to help. I just had a new agent that came from bankers. I'll even tell you, he wasn't making any money. He was making like $400 or $500 a week. Now he's making $2,000 a week, and he is tickled pink. We have a set plan and a set system. He's investing a little bit amount of money, and he's going a long way, and he is killing it.
Right, and you can always look us up on Facebook at Secure Agent Mentor, secureagentmentor.com. We'd be more than happy to help you. We'd be more happy to talk to you, to reach out to you. Look out Thursday. We'll have Train for Success, our other podcast series.
I'm looking forward to that one. That one's going to be good.
So am I.
I'm getting jacked, baby. That one's going to be awesome.
I love it because I'm still learning. You know, Cody's a wealth of knowledge. Warren Buffett always says, the more you know, the more you can earn. And we truly believe that. Have a successful week. Make those sales. August is the month where everybody else is sleeping and taking it off. So if you want to hit numbers, if you want to become first in your office, surpass those other people, take August serious.
Get serious and grind, baby. This is the month. Make it the best month you've ever had.
Enter into the fourth quarter to make the most of what you want to hit your dreams. We hope that the rest of the week is successful for you. Follow us. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.